Um, 2K literally, or not 2K, Jesus, FIBA literally have posted USA Basketball's next chapter, Caitlin Clark and Paige Beckers. They are literally, FIBA are literally out there saying that like they are the future. And to be fair, they are. They are. Like the two of them and Angel Reese are going to make this team. If any of the three of them don't make the team, I would be shocked, especially for these qualifiers, where like you very rarely bring your best team to qualify.
Information has surfaced on the official qualifying tournament page for San Juan, Puerto Rico, scheduled from March 11th through 17th. The proximity of these dates feels surprisingly immediate. What initially seemed distant has suddenly become just a few weeks away, creating an almost surreal sense of urgency. What appears to have emerged is essentially confirmed participation from Caitlin Clark on the roster. While no official announcement exists yet, and likely won't arrive until the formal team unveiling, there's substantial reason to believe this represents reality. FIBA has posted content titled USA Basketball's Next Chapter, Caitlin Clark and Paige Beckers, essentially declaring these athletes represent the program's future. This assessment carries validity considering their potential alongside Angel Reese. All three seem virtually guaranteed roster spots.
Where like you very rarely bring your best team to qualifiers. Like it is extremely rare that you bring your best team to a qualifying tournament. So that being said, like we're looking now at a situation where you're probably going to bring your young players. Because again, Caitlin needs those reps. She'll want to play. Paige will want to play. Will absolutely want to play. Because this is right after Unrivaled. And the young players want to play. Angel Reese needs to get those reps coming into the season. Like, I think there is a stage where
any scenario where these players don't make the team would qualify as genuinely shocking, particularly for qualifying rounds where nations rarely deploy their absolute strongest lineups. Bringing elite veteran players to qualifying tournaments happens extremely infrequently across international basketball. The standard approach favors giving younger athletes valuable experience. This situation aligns perfectly with that philosophy. Clark requires competitive repetitions heading into the season. Beckers similarly needs game action.
Into the season, like I think there is a stage where there are players that may drop out. I don't think any of the players that weren't at the camp will want to play. I don't think Sabrina will want to play. I don't think AJ will want to play. Fee's obviously injured. I don't think Stewie's going to want to play. I think it's going to be genuinely a like case where it comes down to it that it's going to be. I think Chelsea Gray is going to want to play because I think, like, not that there was ever a stage where
both athletes will absolutely want participation opportunities, especially considering the timing immediately follows unrivaled competition. Young players consistently seek these chances. Reese particularly needs competitive rhythm entering the regular season. Some roster attrition appears probable. Athletes who skip the training camp likely won't desire participation. Sabrina Ionescu probably won't seek involvement.
Like, not that there was ever a stage where I think Chelsea Gray's going to Unrivaled and kind of becoming not a new version of herself. Because we saw in the 2022 playoffs, Chelsea Gray always was an elite shot maker. But Chelsea Gray is now like, she's not the point guard anymore. She's not a point guard anymore. She doesn't play point guard anymore. She plays realistically a small forward.
Aja Wilson similarly seems unlikely to participate. Brianna Stewart faces injury complications. Veteran stars generally avoid these lower stakes competitions. Chelsea Gray represents an interesting exception. Her unrivaled experience has showcased an evolved version of her game, though elite shot-making ability was always present dating back to the 2022 playoffs. Gray's positional identity has fundamentally transformed.
A small forward, power forward position. And that is, again, like, even being like generous, we're saying that she plays small forward. Like, she plays an incredible amount of power forward, which again is completely fine. It's completely fine to go out there and play power forward because that's something that she's actually very damn good at. And small ball four, she's an incredibly good small ball four. No matter what people want to say, she's actually an incredibly good small ball four.
She no longer operates as a traditional point guard. Her current role positions her more realistically as a small forward or power forward, though even calling her a small forward requires generosity. She predominantly plays power forward minutes, which presents no issues whatsoever. Her effectiveness as a small ball four remains incredibly high, regardless of contrary opinions. Her skill set genuinely translates to that position exceptionally well. Returning to the FIBA post featuring Clark and Buchers, when the international governing body publicly promotes specific athletes as team members, that essentially guarantees their inclusion.
He's actually an incredibly good small ball four. That being said, though, when it comes down to it, if FIBA are out here posting about a player here in Caitlin Clark Paige Beckers being on the team, there is a guarantee that they are on the team. I mean that when I say that. Like, it is a guarantee. There is maybe a 1% chance that they're not on the team. Because at the end of the day,
perhaps a minuscule 1% possibility exists they don't make the final roster, but realistically, FIBA wouldn't publish this content without certainty. They're not creating promotional material around players with questionable selection odds. There's undeniable substance and validity behind these indications. Organizations don't generate hype around borderline candidates like potential invitees who performed inadequately at camp. They won't promote players like Sonia Citron despite her name recognition if she's not roster-bound. The promotional strategy focuses on athletes who generate viewership and who genuinely rank among the superior talents available.
FIBA is not going to post this for nothing. They're not going to post this for no reason. There absolutely is some truth to this and some validity to saying that they're going to be on the team. And we all know that. Like, they're not going to put in a player who has any chance of not making a team. It's not like they're going to go and start hyping up.
Nobody with reasonable basketball knowledge questions whether Clark and Buchers will make this roster, aside from the most extreme detractors. Even typical skeptics merely speculate about bench roles versus starting positions. Both athletes are definitively making the squad. Regarding potential bench scenarios, if Clark comes off the bench for anyone, it would stem from organizational loyalty toward Chelsea Gray rather than merit-based evaluation. Conventional wisdom suggests Clark and Buchers compete for the point guard spot, but reality indicates they should start together at the 1 and 2 positions. They operate at different positions with different stylistic approaches.
Go and start hyping up Kiki Fan, or if for some reason HVL was invited to the training camp and was nowhere near good enough, they're not going to hype up that. Like, Citron's a big enough name. They're not going to hype up Sonia Citron. Like, that's the thing when it comes down to it, is that they're going to be hyping up the players that are going to get them views, and not only that, the players that are literally the better players. Like, I don't think anyone is out here questioning whether or not.
Every available clip from their camp sessions showed Buchers playing 0 minutes at point guard. The footage consistently displayed Clark and Jackie Young apparently on one squad, while Chelsea Gray and Buchers comprised the other unit, with Gray still handling primary ball handling despite her evolved role. A reasonable projection suggests the starting lineup features Chelsea Gray, Jackie Young, Kalia Copper, Dearica Hamby, and Brianna Stewart. This aligns with historical Team USA patterns. They started Jewel Lloyd extensively even during stretches when she legitimately ranked among the league's worst performers. Lloyd experienced a 2024 period where her production fell off considerably, not just by her elevated standards but objectively speaking. She posted consistently poor shooting percentages on a game-by-game basis throughout that stretch.
And that is Sophie Cunningham. Now, if you don't know, a lot of people have been insinuating that the Fever may be moving on from Sophie Cunningham, or Sophie Cunningham may be wanting to move on for the Fever. But whatever the case may be, all of the debates, all of the rumors and speculation, that's over with, bruh. That is over with, because I'm here to tell you, late last night, Sophie Cunningham sent Caitlin Clark a powerful message, and she let it be known that she actually wanted to return being Caitlin Clark's teammate for the 2000.
Obviously, FIBA wants generating excitement around this tournament. Universal agreement should exist that these qualifiers will shatter viewership records for this competition tier. This will become the most watched qualifying tournament in basketball history across any era. One complication involves potential viewing restrictions. There's a possibility requiring payment through Courtside 1891 or similar platforms, the same service used for accessing EuroLeague content. Having to pay for access will frustrate some fans, though many will absorb the cost anyway rather than seeking alternative streaming methods.
2026 basketball season. Let's head on over to X and pull it up right now, dog. So, yeah, man, a lot of people sent Caitlin Clark out information yesterday. And just like I stated, Sophie Cunningham posted this picture alongside Caitlin Clark. Now, she captioned this picture, and that's what kind of making headlines. She stated, "Happy birthday, love bug. Praying this is the best, most powerful, and exciting year yet." At Caitlin Clark 2022. Now, Mike stated after
the upcoming weeks promise entertainment value leading into simultaneous free agency activities. Multiple players have expressed dissatisfaction regarding the schedule release, raising questions about the season's certainty. However, realistic assessment suggests a season will definitely occur. The athletes aren't foolish enough to sacrifice their earning potential. Players will continue negotiations until resolution, potentially accepting even a one-week season delay if necessary. Too many athletes currently earn substantially more compensation than alternative opportunities could provide.
Now, Mike stated after this post from Sophie Cunningham to Caitlin Clark, "I would like to assume she will be re-signing with the Indiana Fever. The team gets to keep one of the best three-point shooters in the league." Then somebody said, "Why do you always assume that she's leaving? If Indiana is very smart, they'll keep the majority of them." Somebody else said, "Didn't, but she's a good player. And there are two new expansion teams who will have plenty of cap space." Then somebody else said, "I think she's at home with Indy. Only way she leaves."
Too many players exist in that financial position to credibly threaten walking away from the season entirely. Unfortunately for the Players Association, their negotiating leverage has diminished somewhat. The power dynamic has shifted measurably. Speculation persists about these athletes' actual participation and whether any players might genuinely sit out the—
Somebody else said, "I think she's at home with Indy. Only way she leaves as if the Fever tried to lowball her. Shouldn't happen." Somebody else said, "They better sign her." Caitlin Clark, Sophie Cunningham, Aaliyah Boston, Lexi, and Kelsey better all be back. That's something I don't know, man. I know we want Caitlin and the whole game to be back, but as right now, we don't know. I didn't see this. Said Sandy Bordello was excited for the Tempo to play Caitlin Clark. Let's listen to this.
Okay, 3.
Any scenario where announced rosters exclude their names would indicate either injury situations or corporate interference. Perhaps Nike directing Clark away from international play to promote her signature shoe elsewhere. Expectations center on the Nike sneaker debut occurring during this qualifying period. The tournament represents the anticipated first opportunity for Clark wearing her signature model in competitive action, generating additional storyline intrigue beyond the basketball itself. The convergence of international debut, signature shoe unveiling, and generational talent showcase creates unprecedented interest levels for what traditionally constitutes a routine qualifying event. Sophie Cunningham has apparently indicated to Caitlin Clark her intention to continue with the Fever for the 2026 basketball campaign. This development requires examination starting with the Indiana perspective.
Okay, 3 games that I'm really excited and looking forward to taking the Tempo to play is number 1, Phoenix, for obvious reasons. That is my off-season base. My children will be there. All my friends are there. I coach there. I won a championship there for 8 years, so that's always a fun city to visit and play a basketball game. New York, that was where I coached before I came to the Tempo, and just to obviously.
Recent weather conditions suggest significant snowfall approaching the region. Clark celebrated her birthday yesterday, receiving congratulatory messages from numerous individuals across the nation and internationally, including media personalities and fellow athletes worldwide. Among these birthday greetings, one particular message generated notably more attention than others: Sophie Cunningham's post. Considerable speculation has circulated suggesting the Fever might part ways with Cunningham, or alternatively that Cunningham herself desires departure from the organization. Whatever circumstances may have fueled these discussions and conjectures, such debates now appear concluded. Late evening yesterday, Cunningham transmitted a significant message to Clark, revealing her desire to remain Clark's teammate for the upcoming 2026 basketball season.
Came to the Tempo and just to obviously see the fans again. It's a really great arena to play in and see the former players that I coached there. That will be special. And then I have Indiana because everyone loves to play against Caitlin Clark, and I think they've got such a big following in this league too. So, you know, our players to go into a very loud arena, I think that will be fun. Okay, 3 games that I'm really excited and looking forward to.
So that was Sandy Bardello speaking about potentially playing Caitlin Clark for the 2026 season and returning back to New York.
Clark received numerous birthday acknowledgments yesterday. As previously mentioned, Cunningham shared a photograph featuring both athletes together. The accompanying caption generated headlines stating, "Happy birthday, love bug, praying this is the best, most powerful and exciting year yet at Caitlin Clark 2022. Following Cunningham's social media post directed toward Clark, one analyst suggested this implies probable contract renewal with Indiana. The organization would retain one of the competition's premier three-point shooting specialists. Various responses emerged, questioning assumptions about departure when Indiana's intelligent management would logically maintain most roster members.
Speaking about potentially playing Caitlin Clark for the 2026 season and returning back to New York, that should be a sight to see. Now, something else that caught headlines last night was Aaliyah Boston and Lisa Bluter on a panel together, bro. Speaking about Caitlin Clark and her birthday, let's give it a listen.
What's interesting about you both now is you have a connective thread, one of the most transcendent players in the history of women's basketball, and Caitlin Clark. And it's her birthday today. You guys both shouted her out.
Yes, that's my
Coach
girl.
Bluter and Aaliyah. Yeah, you can see on the right-hand side of your screen from Coach, and then Aaliyah doing a matchup of pictures, which is really
Others noted Cunningham's quality while mentioning 2 expansion franchises possessing substantial salary cap flexibility. Additional commentary suggested Cunningham feels comfortable in Indiana, with departure only occurring if the organization attempted unreasonably low contract offers, which seems unlikely. Further responses emphasize the importance of retaining Clark, Cunningham, Aaliyah Boston, Lexi Hull, and Kelsey Mitchell together. Uncertainty exists regarding these roster hopes. Desire for Clark and the entire group returning persists, though current circumstances provide no confirmation. Additional content emerged featuring Stephanie White expressing enthusiasm about coaching against Clark during upcoming competition.
matchup of pictures, which is really sweet. I love this for you guys because you guys are both still really close. Obviously, Aaliyah as a current teammate, but how close are you still, Coach, to Caitlin?
Oh, I talk to her quite often. You know, I follow all of her successes and everything. I just always want to be in her camp and support her. I have so much admiration for her, for what she has really not only just accomplished, but what she's handled in her young 24 years of life. I told her today, your 20s have been pretty good to you.
I would say so.
White identified 3 particularly anticipated matchups. Phoenix, given her off-season residence there, where her children will attend games alongside friends, plus her coaching background including an 8-year championship tenure there, making visits special. New York represents her previous coaching location before joining the Tempo organization, offering opportunities to reconnect with supporters in an excellent arena environment and encounter former players she coached there. Indiana generates excitement because everyone enjoys competing against Clark given her massive following within the league, creating opportunities for players to perform before extremely loud arena atmospheres. White's comments about potentially facing Clark during the 2026 season and returning to New York suggest intriguing matchups ahead. Another headline-generating moment yesterday involved Aaliyah Boston and Lisa Bluter appearing on a panel together, discussing Clark and her birthday celebration.